Hey everyone, welcome to After the Buzzer. This is the show that we talk about something that was related to the main episode of Game Tape Rewind this week and something that maybe we didn't have time to get to. So the main episode of the podcast, this episode was about our Thanksgiving sports traditions and memories. And we alluded to it on the podcast. There is one game that stands out above all of the rest in our memories on Thanksgiving. Eric, can you tell us what it is?
I wish we could have had like almost like somebody like a co-host being able to flip off the possible answers on a board, just pull them off. Nope, that's not the one. That's not the one. Uh, the infamous Buttfumble. I
Yes.
mean, it's etched into all football fans' memories. It is a remarkable play and situation and time and football fanhood, and we would be amiss not to at least mention it. So here we are, Buttfumble.
It is iconic in all the wrong ways, especially if you're a Jets fan. I think it, you know, marked the beginning of the end for one of the more successful periods in recent Jets memories. And I think what we'd like to do is sort of rewind a little bit and talk about everything that had to do with the butt fumble and how that one play is so defining, even if it overshadows some of the other things that were going on. So the year was 2012, Thanksgiving Day. This was the final day of the 3-game slate, and Jets Patriots at the Meadowlands. It's on NBC. The Jets are coming off of their first season not making the playoffs under Rex Ryan. He had previously taken them to back-to-back AFC Championship appearances. They went 8-8 the following year, missed the playoffs. So this was seen as sort of the teetering point, whether or not they could make it back to the playoffs or if things were starting to take a turn for the worse. And Mark Sanchez is at the helm, leading the offense. I think most of the Jets' success was built on a strong run game and great defense. So this game itself, the Patriots were coming in, obviously perennial favorite with Tom Brady, but they were leading the division. The Jets were 4-5 at the time, and it was a strong first quarter for the Jets and for the Jets defense. It was 0-0 going into the second, but Tom Brady hit Wes Welker for a touchdown, and then everything started to sort of collapse.
Yeah, you watch those games, and even though as much as I hate the Jets, you just kind of want them to be in the fight because it's sad otherwise. And like you said, the first quarter looked like it. And they played the right kind of football to beat the Patriots. They were kind of smash mouth, tough defense. You had big running backs like Sean Green and things, which some reason keeps popping up.
I know.
into our podcast. Sean Green, if you're out there, if you want to join us, feel free. But
sure.
Then the floodgates open, right? There is this infamous second quarter where the Patriots put up 35 points, which I don't know if that's a record or not, but I can't see it being much more than that. 35 points in one quarter is pretty rough. But obviously, in the middle of all that, are not just only major gaffes and several turnovers by Jets players that immediately turn Patriots play, but we do have the butt fumble, which is kind of a strong eye formation. Mark Sanchez takes the snap. He drops back, but there's no handoff that occurs.
Right.
So it almost looks like pretty certain there should have been one there. And then for like a good second, the alarms must be going off in his head, like just screeching. And he turns around, and I do understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to get at least back to the line of scrimmage, and you don't want to lose too many yards, and he's trying to slide down. But somewhere between that decision making of sliding down and moving forward, there was a glitch in Mark Sanchez's body function. And he runs right into the backside of his offensive lineman, and I mean he takes just a remarkable cartoonish slide. Slides down to his back, ball comes out. Patriots defender grabs it and takes it to the house. So it's an unfortunate play because I think Mark Sanchez at that time, you mentioned, back-to-back AFC championships, was young, still, figuring out, how good he would be. He was kind of well-liked, I'd say, in the media, at least maybe not New York media, but, he was on the cover of GQ. He's a handsome guy. He seemed affable, kind of those things. But I don't think he really, he didn't really come back after that. If I remember, they were even booing and asking for Tim Tebow off the bench, which
Yep.
another person who keeps popping up in our
Yep.
podcast is Tim Tebow.
Yeah, that was peak Tebow mania in New York. I had the opportunity to see a Jets Giants preseason game one of those years during the Tebow era, and man, he was the star of the show, even on the bench, because it was always like this promise of potential, and he's going to take us to the title. And obviously, that never amounted to anything. But that game itself, the butt fumble was. I think it's unfortunate timing, not only for Mark Sanchez from a career perspective, but it was also around the time when memes started becoming popular on the internet, and then he basically became the poster boy for that. So now anybody thinks of an iconic sort of hilarious NFL moment or embarrassing moment, it's like you have to think of the butt fumble first, because it was like Twitter was blossoming and national primetime game on a holiday. So if you're a football fan, you're probably watching. Very unfortunate. And I think what you mentioned, the floodgates kind of opened. People forget the reason why it was a blowout was not just because of the butt fumble. It was 7-0 when that happened. Or no, it was 14-0 when that happened. But the Patriots had scored 2 plays prior on a long touchdown. And then the butt fumble gets scoop and scored. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Joe McKnight fumbles, and then it gets caught midair. I think Julian Edelman caught it and returned it for a touchdown. And all of a sudden, it's 28-0. And it's like, well, this game is over. So that's when you get the Tebow chants. You get Fireman Ed, who was a legend at that time, left before halftime and then retired from his unofficial mascot after the game. I mean, it was some real franchise-altering stuff.
Yeah, this is one of those cosmic events, I suppose, in a organization's fanhood. And they are a teetering point when you get that close a few times in a row that it's almost worse, I think, for some fans, because you'd rather almost just not be good because it's that teasing. You're getting your hopes up. We're right there. One thing goes our way, but instead it goes the other way in just remarkable, dramatic fashion. And we haven't heard of the Jets much since then. They ushered in the Geno Smith era. We've obviously taken some ups and downs since then, not doing so hot as of right now either. But just an absolute cosmic event is the best way to describe it. And as you said, the internet really coming into play. Everybody had a good time with it, and it's going to live on for the rest of time.
I would be surprised if it didn't. So that, as you mentioned, that was unfortunate. It kind of ushered in the next era of Jets football and was a really pivotal moment. But again, by far the most memorable Thanksgiving NFL moment in both of our fanhoods. So hopefully you all remember it as well. Let us know what you thought of the butt fumble. If you're a Jets fan, I apologize in advance if you're watching this. If you're a Patriots fan, soak it in, because times aren't so great for the Patriots right now either. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you listen to the main episode of Game Tape Rewind. We hope you have a happy and thankful Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you again soon.